Kia ora everyone, welcome to our extraordinary meeting for Wednesday the 28th of June 2023. Could we please start our meeting with our usual karakia, thank you, which you'll find on page 5 of your agenda. Thank you very much, and welcome to councillors, staff and members of the public that are in the audience and any those that are watching live on stream. Look, to commence today's council meeting, just want to acknowledge that it is June is Pride Month, and today we celebrate and recognise the LGBTQ plus community. And for me to not be wearing a tie in this chamber is the first time, I think, forever that I've been, as long as I've been a councillor. So I just want to, embrace and lean into the day. I don't believe that it should be recognised in any special way. As part of society, we just get on and do stuff. But I think it's a recognition of the staff and the way they have embraced the whole month. And I know today, especially if you go out to the back rooms, there is a lot of colour and vibrancy out there. So display, great sort of acceptance of diversity in the way that we do it. Just want to really acknowledge the work that Grayson has done in this space, and you'll see the flag proudly flying out the front as well. So, it won't be a normal sort of ongoing thing, probably. Anyway, right, let's kick into our council open agenda, and we have apologies from councillors Horowhenua and councillor Proctor. Also a late apology from Councillor Grimstone and appears Mike Barker. So I'll move those apologies be accepted. Seconded by Councillor Jennings. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Public participation. I had allowed Mrs. Bold to speak to us, but she appears not to be in attendance because she was talking about an issue that had not been introduced before. It was to do with trade waste and the changes, but it appears she hasn't attended, so we'll pass that. We do have some public participation in committee just for the Chief Executive of the Horowhenua Company and also members of the Foxton War Memorial Hall Committee that will speak when those items come up in the committee items. Late items. We do have one late item, and I'll just ask Grayson if he would just put forward a motion that we accept this item.
Through you, Your Worship, the motion for the late item is that item number C4 in relation to proceedings of the Chief Executive Employment and Performance Committee 24 May 2023 be considered as a matter of urgency due to this item not being available at the time the agenda was issued because consultation with elected members on the agreement had not been completed, and the reason why this item cannot wait until a later meeting of Council is that the agreement needs to be in place for the start of the 2023-24 performance year, being 1 July 2023, and there will not be another council meeting before that date.
I'll move. Anyone prepared to execute? Councillor Olsen, thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Declarations of interest. Anybody wish to declare an interest?
Yeah, thank you.
Councillor Jennings.
Just in relation, consistent with previous disclosures, declaring interest in relation to item C1, which relates to the Horowhenua New Zealand Trust and the Horowhenua Company. Just for other members who might not be aware, following previous disclosures, just relates to my spouse being connected to the Horowhenua New Zealand Trust.
So noted, thank you. Also just acknowledging that Councillor Barker has joined the table. So we move to our first item, which is 5.1, the adoption of the long-term plan 2021 to 2041 amendment and the annual plan for 2023-24. Welcome, Caro. So while Caro's just getting settled, Clint, you're becoming a permanent fixture. Do we need to set up an office? Welcome, Clint and Valerie, is it? Thank you. Welcome. While they're just getting settled, can I move 3.1, 3.2, that the report be received and recognised as significant? Seconded by Councillor Jennings. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Welcome.
Kia ora koutou. Good afternoon, everyone. The purpose of this paper is to present the Long-Term Plan 2021 to 2041 amendment and Annual Plan 2023-24 for adoption. The documents presented reflect the decisions made during deliberations to address key issues in the district that we're facing, including affordability, water infrastructure, and the future of the living landfill. I'll take the paper as read, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. I might pass over to Clint.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, councillors, for the opportunity to be here again this afternoon. Hopefully the next time you see me will be in October. Firstly, apologies for being overdressed. If I didn't get the memo clearly, but I will apologise. As you know, Valerie has not been involved in the LTP audit, but Valerie is the new audit manager for the statutory audit, and just thought it was a great opportunity to introduce her to council. In terms of my report to council this afternoon, I can say that we have completed our audit work based on the audit plan and our audit strategy around the long-term plan. The work on the long-term plan amendment was checking that all the decisions made by council post the consultation process has been incorporated in the documents that you have in front of you today for approval, and there's nothing that we found that we wanted to report back to you other than the obvious one, which is around the three waters being included in the plan. So that remains, if you like, a misstatement and a material one at that, and has given rise to the adverse opinion, which again is a carry on from the CD. There was correspondence between myself and the chief executive around, given the legislation that went through on the 16th of June, and few point the chief executive raised with us whether we should reflect it, and we've made an attempt to reflect that in the annual report, but the uncertainty still remains. We still think that it's a good assumption to be made that these assets will transfer and that they should be reflected in the long-term plan amendment. So with that, I'm not sure if you've seen the draft audit report. It remains an adverse opinion that will be included in the LTPs. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Clint. Are there any questions or clarifications regarding any of the items that are, or recommendations that are in front of us? I think we've pretty well threshed everything out, haven't we? So, look, thank you, Clint. I know the process has been, at times fairly challenging, but really appreciate the manner, and I've acknowledged this before, really appreciate the manner that you have dealt with us as a governance team. And I know that the relationship is growing and maturing, and I look forward to working with you over the next little while. And welcome, Valerie. I'm sure you'll get to know this table a bit better as time goes on. So thank you both for being here today, and we look forward to working with you in the coming months. Cheers.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay, councillors, there being no questions, and we have recommendations 3.1 to 3.15. Sorry, Viv's here. You are running a bit late. You do need to be quick. You were lucky that you probably have arrived, that we did the introduction, otherwise it could have been all over. And the reason why I'm allowing you today to speak is the fact that while it is an extraordinary meeting, and normally I would not allow public participation for such a meeting, the fact that you wish to talk about something that was not part of deliberations or consultation in terms of the trade waste fees, I am allowing that today. So just remind you to keep to that subject. Thank you, appreciate that.
The reason why is that this trade waste is a subject that seems to be a little bit fluffy, you know. Where does our trade waste go? Where do the consents go? JBs seem to go out to Mackey's at the end of Hokio Beach Road, not Hokio Beach Road, Hokio Sands Road. It's one thing about the fees, but where is the waste going to, please, Monique? You know?
So, no, I don't think it's appropriate that you ask. If you've got a question that for officers, then we need to have that in writing, please, and before the meeting would be preferable.
Okay. All right, well, I'll leave it at that. Because we still haven't ever had any answers. JB Alliance's waste through JB's goes out to the Hokio Sands Road. And
all our trade waste goes to our wastewater treatment plant.
And also the other one that we ask about waste is the industrial waste that come down through by the racecourse.
I'm sure if you put that in writing, that you'll get a response from the team in terms of what happens. But I can assure you that we don't do it anywhere else but the wastewater treatment plant.
Charles has also asked me to say we have got a question in front of the Audit General about 5.1, the tallies from the options for the future of the landfill. That option 1 had 111 actual answers to it and not yours, and we tend to once again I'm diverting off the subject. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you very much, Leon.
Thank you. So, getting back to the recommendations, 3.1 to 3.15, are councillors comfortable that we do that in block, or are there any questions or clarifications sought on any of the topics?
Happy to move in block just to test them.
Thank you. All right, so we've got a mover and a seconder in block. Is there any discussion around that? A division? Councillor Tupapua.
Did you say discussion?
So the recommendations 3.1 to 3.15 are on the table in block. If you've got any discussion or debate, yes, sure.
I'll start by saying I'll support it, but I just want a couple of points, a few things to be acknowledged from my perspective just as a live-in councillor. Obviously we went through this whole rate review for a fairer distribution, and it's a challenging space, I get it, but for a long time, by and large, live-in ward props up the district. and everyone's welcome to their view, but it's a fact and the numbers show it. And there are going to be, I guess I'll just read it, under community wellbeing 9.2, page 13. Council will need to provide clear messaging on why approximately 11,000 ratepayers will be required to pay rates at a higher level than they may have been expecting, because the correspondence we sent out to all ratepayers is that this is the amount you can expect to pay. So some will assume an invoice of that nature will arrive, and it won't be. It'll look quite different. And they were the silent majority who didn't come and submit. So I'm just acknowledging that, and hope we deal with that appropriately when those bills go out and we get a few calls. Other than that, yes, we went from a 7.9 to a 7% increase. I'm still not ultimately satisfied with that. I wish it was less, but it is what it is. And I look forward to the next LTP proper, where we will do a whole lot better, I think, and the zero-based budgeting I expect is going to help with that.
Thank you, Deputy Muriel.
Look, just to be quick, I did move on block because I support all the recommendations. Noting that a division has been called for, which is absolutely fine, I think it would be important if people do have concerns about any of the recommendations that they speak to their concerns rather than just vote against them.
Yes, thank you. And in light of that, I suppose the only resolution that I'm not totally comfortable with is the fact that we are adopting a budget that is not balanced. And I think, to start a year knowing that we're going to be in deficit, I don't regard as necessarily prudent. I know it's responsible, but the fact that we are doing that is the reality that we face, unfortunately, in terms of the challenges that we've got in front of us. Anyone else? Okay, I'll put those. We'll start to my left. Councillor Young. Support. Sorry, I'll just wait for. You're right. Councillor Tamihana. Aye. Councillor Barker.
Yes.
Councillor Tukapua.
4.
Councillor Olsen. 4. Councillor Boyle. 4. Councillor Brannigan. 4. Councillor Jennings. 4. Deputy Muriel. 4. And I am 4. Thank you. All right. So now moving to 5.2, which is the adoption of the rates resolution for the year ending 30th of June 2024. Purpose to receive of this report is that Council formally adopt the rates resolution for the year, the 30th of June 2024, and having adopted the long-term plan amendment for 23-24, containing the funding impact statement at the Council meeting of 28th of June 2023, Council is now required to formally adopt the rates resolution. So moving 2.1, 2.2, seconded by Councillor Young. All those in favour? Thank you. And welcome, Jacinta. And you can good to see a smile on your face that you're getting to this day.
Yes, absolutely. So through you, Your Worship, this is nothing more to add to this paper other than it reflects all of the decisions that you've previously just signed off. And in response to Councillor Tukupua's question, absolutely we will through this process do our absolute best to communicate to everybody as they're calling in if they have concerns about the rates being different than the initial proposal, to make sure that they understand what it means for them and why.
Thank you. Councillor Jen.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. Jacinta, I'm not going to move anything weird or unexpected. Just a quick question in relation to the penalty interest. So that's under 2.6 in the paper. And so at the moment, the penalty interest is set at 10%, and then there's an additional 10% if it hits a date in January,
within that financial year. Can you just talk to me about, and sorry I didn't give this on notice, but are we sort of consistent with other councils in terms of that penalty interest rate? Is it there or thereabouts with other councils?
Yes, it's an act-driven penalty, effectively. Yeah, you have a choice in terms of that second penalty and whether that applies, but the rate is definitely very uniform.
Councillors will note that we do have recommendations 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 and 2.6, 2.7 and 2.8. Now, a lot of those are process resolutions in terms of due dates and penalties and payments, which, while may seem insignificant, but good process to be able to sort of clearly state what our policies are, so that no one is under any sort of not knowing what is in front of them. But maybe we just, for this initial resolution, just look at 2.3, that Horowhenua District Council sets the following rates under the Local Government Rating Act 2002 on rating units in the district for the financial year commencing 1 July 2023 and ending in 30 June 2024. Now, I don't intend to read them all out, but they do cover general rates, land transport rating rate, stormwater rate, community centre/library rate, a representation and community leadership, solid waste disposal rate, aquatic centre swimming pool rate, wastewater disposal rate, water supply rate, and that's all under 2.3. So I'm happy to move adoption of that resolution. Do I have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Allen, is there any further debate or discussion? Appropriate that we have had division for our previous items, so I will ask for division on this one as well. So starting to my right this time, Deputy Mayor Allen. Aye. Councillor Jennings. For. Councillor Brannigan. For. Councillor Boyle. For. Councillor Olsen. For. Councillor Tukapua. For. Councillor Barker. For. Councillor Tamihana. Aye. Councillor Young. For. Thank you. And I as well. Thank you. So now moving to 2.4, that the Horowhenua District Council adopts the following definitions for its differential categories for the 2023-24 financial year. Included in that the general rate, the solid waste disposal rate, the wastewater rate, the water supply rate. Any further discussion on those? So I'm happy to move. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Young. Right, this time we'll start with, is there any questions, clarification? No. Okay, this time we'll start with Councillor Olsen. For. Councillor Tukapua. For. Councillor Barker. For. Councillor Tamihana. Aye. Councillor Young. Aye. I'm for. Councillor Deputy Mayor Allen. Aye. Councillor Jennings. For. Councillor Brannigan. For. Councillor Boyle. For. Thank you. Right. 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 and 2.8. I just want to highlight the fact that I will be abstaining. We may leave 2.8 out because I need to, in fact, abstain from that that resolution as the owner-operator of the New Zealand Post Shop in Within. The fact that I collect rates across the counter of my business means that while I don't have a direct, if you like, pecuniary interest in terms of that, but it is appropriate that I abstain. So if we could, Councillor Jen.
I'm happy to move 2.5 to 2.8.
Can we just say 2.7 at this stage and then we'll get to 2.8 because I'm going to abstain. I want to support the others, but yeah. All right. So so moved Councillor Jennings, seconded Councillor Tamihana. 2.5, 2.6, and 2.7. Do we need division on this? I don't. It's processed pretty much. Rather than, so can I just call for a raise of hands, please? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. And then 2.8, which just talks about the payment of rates and where they can be done. And as I said, I will abstain from this. So Councillor Jennings is moving, Councillor Brannigan is seconding. Again, can I just have a show of hands? Thank you. And noting my abstention. Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of our public agenda. Before I do so, though, I just wanted to acknowledge Jodie. Jodie's your last meeting with us, probably. Yeah, as you move on to a new position within the organisation. Just wanted to thank you very much for the support that you've given us. You've grown tremendously in that short amount of time. I know it was pretty daunting when you first started, but look, just acknowledge the amount of work that you've done in helping us achieve what we've done too. So all the best in your new role. I'm sure you will love it, and good that you're staying on and moving through. Cheers. Okay, so I'm now going to move that the public be excluded from the following parts of the meeting, in line with Section 48 of the 1A of the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, where we will discuss C1, the proposed health centre extension 15 to 23 Durham Street, C2, housing outcomes for Green Avenue and Cambridge Street Reserve areas, C3, the Fox and Wall Memorial Hall proposed transfer to an integral committee, and C4 being the Chief Executive Performance Appraisal Procedure. Yeah. Do I have a second for that, Deputy Mayor Allen? All those in favour? Thank you. Just noting too that we will be allowing some speakers to remain at the or when they are talking to their particular item. Katrina is the Chief Executive of the company, and also the Foxton Memorial Hall Committee as well, when those items come up. And as Katrina, we're probably a little earlier for Katrina. Yes, so we will, thank you to staff if they are to leave, but so we will change